So let us discuss about the program called LL1 parser. LL1 parser. So this is a predictive parser, LL1 predictive parser. Why? Because it is one of the types in parsing without backtracking program. Okay, the other name for parser without backtracking is predictive parsing technique. So in LL1, we will observe that two L symbols are there. First L indicates that scanning of input is from left to right. Second L indicates that it uses leftmost derivation for the input string, and one indicates only one input symbol we will use to predict the parsing process. So whole meaning we will understand later what we are doing in the LL1 parser. But as of now, we should remember LL1 parser is a non-recursive top-down parser. LL1 is a non-recursive top-down parser. Anyhow, LL1 is a predictive parser. Predictive means what? Prediction means guessing. Prediction means guessing. So LL1 is a predictive parser. It will predict which production needs to be substituted, but it is a non-recursive top-down parser. It is not a recursive predictive parser. It is a non-recursive predictive parser. So what happens here? We will take the input and we will construct a parse table for this. There are some steps to construct LL1 parser. So the output of this LL1 parser is parsing table. We are going to construct a parsing table that we will see. Based on the parsing table M, we will parse the input string given here. Our first objective is, with the given grammar, we will construct a parsing table. That parsing table is called predictive parsing table, and based on that parsing table, we will parse the string. We will verify the string. So that is what we are doing here, and we are also using stack. I will tell you what is the need of necessity of using stack here. We will discuss with an example. And for constructing this parsing table, or for to understand this LL1 parser, we have some steps. See the steps here. Steps for constructing LL1 parser. First, we need to remove left recursion or left factoring if any present in the grammar. So we are going to remove left recursion and left factoring if anything is present. After that, we will compute the first sets and follow sets only for the non-terminals. Hope you all know the meaning of non-terminal and terminal. We will find out the first set and follow set for the non-terminals. I will tell you what is this first sets and follow sets, how to find out them. So our third step is we will construct a predictive parsing table, and our fourth step is we will parse the input string based on the table we have constructed. These are the four steps we have in the LL1 parsing table. So first we will remove either left recursion or left factoring if any present in the grammar. And our second step is we will compute first sets and follow sets only for the non-terminals. We will not find out first set and follow sets for the terminals. Only for the non-terminals we will find out them. Only for the non-terminals we will find out first and follow sets. Our third step is we will construct our predictive parsing table. Predictive means what? We have said the meaning of prediction, guessing. So a table will be predicted. That's why it is called as predictive parsing table. Based on the table only, we will verify the input string, whether it belongs to the given grammar or not. Now there are some rules to compute the first sets of the non-terminal. As I told you, we are going to find out the first sets and follow sets for the non-terminals, but there are some rules. Please look at the rules here. If A is deriving alpha and alpha is a terminal, then add alpha to the first of A. look at the rule number 1. If A derives alpha and alpha is a terminal, then we will add alpha to the first set. Okay, so we will understand this with an example, so that it will be easy for us. Let us take an example and we will understand the rule number 1. Rule number 1 we will understand first. You see here, we have taken the productions like S derives small a capital B small a. Let us take that production. S derives small a capital B small a. So step 1 is not required. Why? Because our step 1 is left recursion and left factoring. Is it right? Left recursion and left factoring, that is why it is not required. Anyhow, you leave about that. Anyhow, we are now discussing about first and follow sets. How to compute first sets and follow sets. We have seen the rule. If A implies first of S, we are going to find out the first set for S. First of S equal to, what is the production we have? S implies small a capital B small a. Now what happens? We will consider if any production is in the form of A derives alpha, then what we will do is we will add alpha to the first of A. Meaning, suppose if I would like to find out the first sets only for the non-terminals, right? So what are the non-terminals we are having here? Capital S is one non-terminal, capital B is another non-terminal. These are the only two non-terminals present in the grammar. So that's why we need to find out only the first and follow sets for these two non-terminals S and B only. Okay, we will not bother about the terminals. We will not find out the first and follow sets for the terminals. We will only find out the first and follow sets only for the non-terminals S and B. Now I am going to tell you how to find out first sets. First means what? Suppose if the production is S implies small a capital B small a, we will take the first symbol that is starting here. S is deriving small a capital B small a. On the right hand side, the starting symbol is small a. Then automatically what happens? The first of S equal to small a only. Meaning is, I am trying to look after the first symbol of the production S. I am trying to look after the first symbol of the production S. What is the first symbol of the S here? Small a. That is why first of S equal to small a. If you are unable to remember all the rules, please remember the things I am telling you, so that it will be easy for you people. Right? What we have mentioned here, rule number 1, if the production is in the form of A implies alpha, first of A will be alpha only. So if the production is S implies ABA, then first of S equal to small a. What I told you, we are looking after the starting symbol of the S. So that's why first of S equal to A. You don't need to consider anything. First of S equal to small a, that's it. Hope you all understood. The first symbol of S equal to small a. That's why first set of S equal to small a only. Suppose if S is having multiple productions, consider S is having a production like S derives A capital B small a or B capital B small b, like that. Right? If S is having multiple productions, we will take all the starting symbols in all the productions. So here in this production ABA, the starting symbol is A, and in the next production the starting symbol might be B. So then first of S equal to set of A comma B we will write. Set of A comma B we will take. Okay, I am trying to tell you very clearly. First set of S is nothing but we are looking for the starting symbols of the production, the starting symbols of the S productions. Here S is having only one production. Sometimes S will be having multiple productions. During that time, we will take all the starting symbols in all the productions of S. I am talking about only S, right? Why? Because we are finding out the first sets of S. Next, we will go to the next non-terminal. How many non-terminals are there? Only two, right? Capital S and capital V. Our second non-terminal is capital V. What we will do now? We will find out the first set of capital V. What is the first set of capital V? What is the starting symbol present here in the B production? In the B production, the starting symbol is small b only. That's why you see here B is having two productions. Observe carefully. B is having two productions. B implies small b capital B. B implies small b capital B, and B implies epsilon. B implies epsilon. So if it is B implies small b capital B, then what happens? What is the first symbol that is present here in this production? Small b. That's why first of capital B equal to small b. One thing is fixed, right? First of capital B equal to small b. See, if you are unable to remember all these rules, please leave them. Try to remember whatever the things I am telling you. First set means I am talking about the first symbols of the production. If S is deriving small a, capital B, small a, only one production is available to S here. That's why the starting symbol of S is small a. Then first of S equal to small a. That's it. Over. If S is having any another production, we will also take the starting symbol in that production. We will include that symbol to the first set of S. Right? Now we will go for B. First of B. How many productions are there for B? Two productions are there. B implies small b capital B and B implies epsilon. Two productions are there. What we will do now? The starting symbol in this production is small b. Right hand side. I am talking about right hand side. On the right hand side, the starting symbol is small b. So we will take small b followed by we will take small b for the first set of capital B. So first of capital B equal to small b. Still we have not completed. Why? Because B is having another production epsilon. If B is generating epsilon, we will also include that epsilon to the first set of B. So now first of B equal to epsilon. First of B equal to small b comma epsilon. Small b comma epsilon. Why? Because B is having two productions. In one production, the starting symbol is small b. In another production, the starting symbol is epsilon. That's why first of B equal to small b comma epsilon. So this is how we have find out the first sets of the this is how we will find out the first sets of the non-terminals. Hope all of you understood how to find out the first sets here, which belongs to our LL of 1 parsing technique. Okay, this is about first sets in the LL of 1 parsing technique. Now we will see how to find out the follow sets. Okay, so anyhow, we will see another example also to find out the first sets. We will take another example. Later we will discuss about the follow sets. Okay, please look at one more example for finding out the first sets. Okay, you take this example now. Suppose if I ask you to find out the first sets, if I ask you to find out the first sets for the given grammar, what do you identify? What do you find out? So first we will identify the non-terminals in the given grammar. Why? Because we will find out the first sets as well as follow sets only for the non-terminals, not for the terminals. That you need to understand very clearly. We will find out first sets and follow sets only for the non-terminals. So in the given grammar, since the non-terminals are capital S, capital B and capital C, capital S, capital B and capital C, so definitely we will find out the first sets only for the non-terminals S, B, C, right? So how to find out the first sets? S is having two productions, right? In the previous example, S is having only one production, but here S is having two productions. S is deriving small a capital B and S is deriving epsilon. Now we will find out the first sets. The starting symbol in this production, okay, the starting symbol in this production is a small a. That's why we will include small a to the first set. That's why we will include small a to the first set. First of S equal to small a, comma, what is the another production? The another production is S is deriving epsilon. So since it is also deriving epsilon, since the starting symbol of this production is also epsilon, we will also include epsilon to the first set. That's why first of S equal to a comma epsilon. That's why first of S equal to a comma epsilon. Now we will go for, see, we have included first sets of S in the table. You see, non-terminals are S, B and C. First sets are a comma epsilon. First sets of S equal to a comma epsilon. Now I am going to show you, I am going to take you the second productions, second set. B implies small b capital C and B is deriving epsilon. Two productions are there again for B also. Now what happens? What is the first set of capital B? Small b. Okay, here the starting symbol is small b and here the starting symbol is epsilon. So we will include both the symbols. So B comma epsilon. First set of B equal to B comma epsilon. And we will include that first of B in the table like B comma epsilon. So first set of capital B equal to small b comma epsilon. Now you can predict, right? You can predict what is the first set of capital C. First set of capital C is small c comma epsilon. Why? Because capital C is having two productions, CS and epsilon. In this production, the starting symbol is small c and here the starting symbol is epsilon. That's why I am taking the first sets of capital C equal to small c comma epsilon. So we will also include the small c comma epsilon into the table. So this is how we will find out the first sets and follow sets, first sets for the given grammar, right? So right, you see here one more example. We have taken the productions like E plus T slash T, T derives T star F slash F, T star F slash F, F implies E in parenthesis or small id, E in parenthesis or id. So these are the productions given. Suppose if I ask you to find out the first sets for the given grammar, what is your answer? Can you please tell me what is your answer? What are the first sets of capital E? If you observe carefully, So this is our first step. Anyhow, we will discuss this later. We will focus on how to find out first sets now. First of capital E equal to, right, after eliminating left recursion and left factoring, the productions became like this. Okay, these are the productions we need to consider. Why? Because I told you, if the productions are left recursive or if the productions are in the left factoring, we cannot find out, we should not find out the first sets and follow sets. So before we compute first and follow sets in the LL1 parsing, we need to find out what we need to do. We need to find out elimination of left recursion. Otherwise, we need to eliminate left recursion. Hope we have seen the previous classes how we have eliminated the left recursion method, how we applied the left recursion method. So left recursion formula is there. A implies A alpha or beta. Like that, we have some formulas, right? We have a formula like A implies A alpha or beta, like that. We apply that formula and we will eliminate the left recursion. So after eliminating the left recursion, we got the productions like this. You need to find out the first sets from this grammar, not from this grammar. That's why before you compute first and follow sets, you need to verify whether the starting symbol of the left hand side and right hand side production are same or not. If it is same, then immediately you apply left recursion formula and eliminate the left recursion. That is what you need to do, right? Hope you all understood. So this is how we are going to find out the left recursion and left factoring before compute first and follow sets. So once it is done, we will find out the first sets from this grammar. Now you find out the first sets from this grammar. We will take all the non-terminals for finding out the first sets. As I told you, we will find out first sets only for the non-terminals only. Right? What are the non-terminals we are having? E is a non-terminal, E dash is a non-terminal, T is a non-terminal, T dash is a non-terminal, F is a non-terminal. These are the non-terminals we are having. Now we will start with our first non-terminal, capital E. We will start computing the first sets. Right? We will start computing the first sets. So when E derives TE dash, what is the starting symbol? What is the starting production we are having here? What is the starting symbol in the production? Capital T. But we should not take capital T directly. Why? Because if it is a non-terminal, if it is a terminal, then only we need to take this terminal. We will include this symbol in the first set. Since it is not a terminal, we will find out the first sets of capital T now. Hope you all understood. See, E is deriving T dash, right? So actually what we have taken in the previous example, the first symbol in the first symbol, whatever the first symbol that is present in the production, that we have taken. Okay, before you take that, we need to identify whether it is an terminal or non-terminal. That's why in the previous examples I have told you, all the things are terminals only. Small a is terminal, small b is terminal, small c is terminal. That's why we have taken directly. If it is a non-terminal, what happens? Again we will go for finding out the first symbol of the T production. Now we are finding out the first sets of capital E. So the first symbol present is T here. That's why we will go to the T production, and the starting symbol present in the T production is F. Again F is a non-terminal. We will go to the F production and we will look at the first symbol. Now what we are doing? So while computing the first set or while looking at the starting symbol of any production, you have to determine whether that symbol is a terminal or non-terminal. If that symbol is a terminal, then we will directly add that symbol to the first set. If that symbol is non-terminal, what we will do, we will jump to the particular production. Here E is deriving capital T, right? So capital T is production, capital T is non-terminal, capital T is having production ft dash. That's why we have jumped to the non-terminal F. Why? Because the starting symbol in T production is capital F. Again F is non-terminal here. What we will do, we will jump to that particular production capital F. Yes, we have went to the production capital F. Now after coming to this production capital F, the starting symbol of capital F is left parenthesis, so that we will take to the first set of capital E. That we will take to the first set of capital E. So first of E equal to first of T. Why? Because first of E equal to first of T. Why? Because T is also a non-terminal. T is also a non-terminal. Then first of T equal to first of F. Why? Because why it is that F is also a non-terminal. First of T equal to first of F. See, when we are finding first of E, we are jumping to the first of T, and to find out first of T, we are moving to the F, and we are finding out first of F. Why? Because they are non-terminals. So if any non-terminals arrive like that, we will jump like this, and we will find out the last terminal that is present. So the meaning is that when I substitute this T, again I need to substitute capital F. When I substitute this capital F, again I need to substitute finally I am going to substitute either left parenthesis or ID. So anyhow, the starting symbols of capital E will be, the starting symbols of capital F will be, what happens, left parenthesis comma ID. Left parenthesis comma ID. My dear students, you must understand one thing here. First of E equal to left parenthesis comma ID. First of T equal to left parenthesis comma ID. First of F equal to left parenthesis comma ID. Right? Now we don't need to find out the first sets for all the things which we have find out now, which we already found now. We have find out the first sets of capital E, capital T also, capital F also. They are over. Now we need to find out for E dash and T dash. We need to find out the first sets for E dash and T dash. Hope you all understood. Again I am going to tell you what we are doing here, how we are going to compute the first sets. You see, we are finding out the first sets, and here the production is E derives T dash. I told you that first set is nothing but we will take the first symbol in the production. Here the first symbol of this production is capital T, and capital T is not a terminal. That's why we will go for finding out the first sets of capital T again. If this is a terminal, we will directly add that to the first set. Okay, so since it is not a terminal, we will go for finding out the first sets of capital T. After that, we'll go for finding out the first sets of capital F. Why? Because see, when we go to T is deriving capital F. When we go to capital F is deriving left parenthesis and ID. So finally what we have find out, we find out left parenthesis comma ID as the term symbols. Right? Find out that first of F equal to left parenthesis comma ID. These are the symbols we have got. This is how we will find out the first symbols, first sets. Right? So